Hey guys, there are many ways to earn points in P-Ville. One easy way to earn points is through the stock market. What is the stock market? How does it work? Those are just a few of the questions I will be answering today. You can find the stock market on the calendar. In the top right-hand corner of the calendar, you can find a link to the stock market.
I see all of those lines, but what do they mean?
Each colored line represents a class. For example, period 6 is stock value is red because that is their class color.
So period 4's line is purple because that's their class color?
Yes, that is correct.
What makes a stock's class value go up or down?
A class's stock value goes up and down based on their performance in class. For example, if period 3 has the highest average on a test, their stock value will go up. If some kid in period 4 gets caught spitballing in class, their stock value will likely go down.
I know what the stock market is and how it's influenced, but how do I make money off of it?
First, you must find a stockbroker in your class. You tell them which class you want to invest in and how many points.
How do I become a stockbroker? How do I know what period to invest in? What does the stockbroker do with that information?
Hey man, calm down. I know the stock market is exciting, but you need to take a chill pill.
Okay.
To become a stockbroker, you must pass a stock exam given by the previous year universal stockbroker. Currently, I'm the universal stockbroker of my year, and I will have someone replace me next year. It is the universal stockbroker's duty to carefully select a qualified individual from the incoming class to replace the universal stockbroker.
We have to take a test. Are you serious? What can we study from?
Yes, you must take a test in order to become a stockbroker. You can use these to study. Nah, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, upon your request, you can get the Stockbroking for Dummies from your universal stockbroker. In case that isn't enough, I'll go over the basic concepts you need to know in order to pass the stock exam. There are two different types of investments, domestic and international. Domestic investments are investments into your own period. These investments are easy to track. As the stock market goes up and down, your points grow and decrease. Here's a simple equation you can use to figure out how many points you gained or lost on the stock market. Take the points you input into a class and multiply by the stock value that you pulled out over the stock value when you put in. Let's practice. If you invest 50 points in your own class at a stock value of 2 and pull out at a stock value of 7, how many points did you pull out of the stock market?
30.
No, Ellen, shut up. You're wrong.
50.
No, Susie, not quite.
175.
Angelo, that is correct. All you guys had to do was use the equation. So you start at 50 points, and then using the equation, you pulled out at 7 and put in at 2, and this equals 175. Investing in other periods is a bit more complicated. First off, some class points are worth more than others. In order to invest in other classes, you have to use another equation. In order to figure out how many points you have in a class, you can use this equation. So you take the points that you have in your class that you want to invest in the other classes, then you multiply it by your stock value, which is like your class, over the class you want to invest in stock value, and that gives you the points you have in that class. Now that you know how many points you have in that class, you can use this equation to figure out how many points you gained or lost during the time. So you take the points you have in that class, which you found out using this equation, and you take that and multiply it by the stock value that you pulled out of, and that's the stock value that class is, over the stock value when you put in, and that's the class you invested in is stock value, not your own.
Mr. Tinty, are you done talking?
No, be patient, Red. Now that you know how many points you're pulling out, you need to figure out how many points that is worth in your class. Once again, points are worth different amounts depending on a class's stock value. So you take the points you have in that class, which you found using this equation, which is like the growth and decay, I guess you could say, equation, and you multiply that by the class you invested in stock value over your class's stock value to get the number of points you get back into your own class.
Is that all?
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Now let's practice.
No!
So let's say you decide to invest 100 points into period 6's class, which is at a stock value of 2, while your class is at a stock value of 4. So you use the first equation and use the proportions of their class over your class for stock value times the points you have in your class. And that gives you 200 points in period 6's currency or points. So as days go by, classes do good and bad, and period 6 goes up to 6, and your class goes down to 2. So you can figure out how many points you gain based on this equation. So you take the points you have in that class, which we found out was 200, so you take 200 times stock value when pulled out, which is, what was it? It's 6, so 6 over the stock value when you put in, which was 2 over here. So that gives you, so you take 200 times 6, and that gives you 1200. And then divided by 2, and that gives you 600. So you have 600 points in that class at this point. So if you want to pull out, you have 600 points in their class, but you have to figure out how many points you have in your class. So you use this equation. So points you have in a class, which is 600, times the class you invested in stock value, which is 6, over your class stock value, which is 2. And so 600 times 6, 1800. So you turned 100 points into 1800 points through the stock market. Wow, what a good way to make points. So a little quick things about the stock market. It's best to invest low and then pull out high, because clearly you make points. You invest high and go low, like you're just losing points. Events out of class can affect the stock market, so like cheating in other classes, that can cause bad problems, and just P-Ville problems in general. So like for our class, like a lot of kids were below average and were getting like below C's for P-Ville, and that was a problem. So then the stock went down. And basically just don't mess up. Thank you for your time, thank you for your patience, and just good luck. And a big thanks to Mr. P's advisory for math. Really saved us.